homesteading to prepping to common horse sense, we are College Hill Farm. Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Let's do a little update on the fall garden. Now, I plant a fall garden every year. Now this year, my fall garden is kind of winding up being my main garden because I got planting so late. But now, we planted, anything I plant after July the 1st, I consider part of the fall garden. So, this year, after July the 1st, I planted 6-week beans, sunflowers, and okra. Now, we just got done doing an okra video, so I'm not going to show the okra. But let's take a look and see how the other stuff is doing. Now, here are our 6-week beans. Look at those blooms. They're just setting blooms everywhere. They're a week or a month in, 4 weeks in. So they're 6-week beans. So in 2 weeks, I'll be able to harvest some beans out here. But I'll probably wait till 8 weeks. Let them get all the way to the end of September. And then I'll just pull them up and harvest them all. Now there's one row here. Now all I do is I plow beside these. I haven't plowed beside them in a while. You can see some weeds coming on. I don't worry about too many weeds in the fall garden. These beans are pretty resilient. But you'll notice most of the weeds are over here to the side of them. And if a weed does make it into the bean row, let me show you what it does. Look at there. That bean has climbed to the top of that weed. It's going to take it out. Okay, so these beans are tough. So they can take a weed or two. I haven't put a hoe to these, not one. But I've plowed beside them real close. So, on down through there's a 100-foot row of them. The other part of the fall garden, of course, was the okra. And I did a video about that, but look at these mammoth sunflowers. They're 14 foot tall, and those heads are bigger than my head, and I've got a big head. We'll have a look at the other parts of the fall garden. Corn's gone. It's time to take the bush hog to it. I always cut all that down so that I can till it in later. Now this is the very first part. Right in here, I planted carrots. And remember what I told you about carrots. They take their time coming up. Well, if you walk through here and look, all that's really here coming up is purslane. I see some onions coming up. I also sowed a few onion seeds too. But I don't see a carrot one coming up yet. I'll come out here probably mid-September and there'll be a bunch of them up. But this has been a month and no carrots. Now we come on down, and right here is the kale. You can look at the kale. There'll be plenty of kale this fall. No problem. Now on around here, we come on, this is the kale of course. We come on out through here, and this is our turnip bed. You can see it looks like a turnip bed, don't it? Okay. There will be a bumper crop of turnips. Now down through there I didn't plant nothing. I came across, and over here on this other side, step through, down through here I planted beets. And to be honest, I don't see but 1 or 2 beets come up. Looks like there might be one here coming up, but they're just, I don't see any. You know, that's a little disappointing. I was in hopes we'd have some beets to can, but doesn't look like they're going to come up. Now, they may be some over here beets look an awful lot like turnips when they're growing. So they may be over here. The birds may have came along and helped me. You just never know. So let's get over to the other part of the fall garden and see what else we've got. Okay, here we are on the fall garden, on the hill garden. Now, right over here, I came down yesterday and I mowed off my potatoes. See, and you can see right here, there's potatoes right here on top of the ground. I wanted to harvest those today, but it's going to rain for the next 3 days, and I'd really like to have them where I can leave them out under the tree and let them cure for 2 or 3 days before I put them in the basement. So I've mowed off 2 rows. There's still 2 rows over there to go. You can see I let them grow up pretty good, but there's some pumpkins in there that I'm going to try and let get big enough that I can harvest those before I do. I ran over a big pumpkin yesterday, so I'll let those pumpkins mature a little bit more. They're almost done. Now over here we've got our beans, and you'll notice that in this row of beans there aren't nearly the weeds that there were in the other row. Well, that's because this ground had been plowed 2 or 3 times before these beans got here. That plowing over and over and over kills off the weed seeds, and then the beans can really come on. Now, I haven't fertilized either of my beans. You know, I just haven't fertilized them, so, but they'll do just fine. They'll fix nitrogen right out of the sky. Now, over here, here's our radishes. And I thought I saw a radish. Yeah, there's one right here. Pull that boy up. Come out of there. There we go. There he is. I wonder what they taste like. I'll go over and taste it here in a minute, but for right now I'll just leave it right here. Come back and get it in a minute. Now, this is the radishes. Of course, they're all down through here. Now, I don't know where the cutoff was for radishes and where the cutoff was for rutabagas. Right down here, this might be rutabagas. But in looking at it, I bet they're the radishes. I don't know. I think I see something a lot bigger than a radish down in there. I planted purple top rutabagas. So, but looking right here, I don't know what this is. Okay, I planted cabbage in here and lettuce, or not lettuce, but I planted cabbage and broccoli, sowed it, but I don't see a single cabbage or broccoli plant that's come up. So that part of the fall garden was a bust. It was an experiment. My seed was old, but some of it should have come up. I would say I was noticing I've had a lot of doves down here. They've probably been helping me with anything that sprouted. So the sowing cabbage and broccoli is a bust. It's just not gonna work out. That's okay. You got to learn this stuff. My cabbage seed and my broccoli seed were both getting a little old. My sweet potato experiment is doing okay. It should be a lot further along than this, but you know, it's just what it is. You know, I'll get as many sweet potatoes as I get. If I get enough back to plant for the spring, but I won't plant sweet potatoes like Irish potatoes anymore. I don't like the way they're putting on, and I bet I don't have any tubers. So that just can't happen again. That's not going to happen again unless it was like this year and I didn't have no other choice. So there's my sweet potato bed. Hopefully I'll get enough sweet potatoes back for bedding for the spring. Okay, that's pretty much the fall garden update. Okay, that's the fall garden. We're hopefully going to get harvesting some tomatoes. That radish I pulled up, I've never been a fan of radishes, but we started going to a little Mexican restaurant, a little hole-in-the-wall place, authentic Mexican restaurant, and they serve radishes as a side to their tacos. Oh, wow. This radish is hot and spicy and will be a excellent addition. I gotta look up how to save them though. I don't know nothing about saving radishes. Okay, so that's our fall garden. Probably won't try planting some of the things again. I think I'm going to try planting beets in the spring and see how they come out. I'm going to plant them with the earthway planter, plant them in the spring because they're just not doing good. Kale and turnips are doing good. I see radishes are perfect fall crop. If I can save them. I don't know how to save them, how to preserve them. I know I can put them in the refrigerator and they'll last a long time, but that's all I know. So I'll have to figure out a way to preserve them, and I'll let you know how it works out in a later video. So spicy. Anyway, the turnips did good. The kale's doing good. The radishes did good. It looks like I might have some rutabagas too. So hopefully they'll do good. And of course the sunflowers and the beans are going to do good. So that's where we're at on the fall garden. I need to harvest my potatoes. The tomatoes are about done. It's 1st of September. I didn't plant a whole lot of big heirloom tomatoes because I just didn't have time to get them in this year. We planted a row of Romas, and that's pretty much all gone for the year. I harvest a few here and there, you know, along to take in, and me and Crystal eat them. Just eat them, cut them up, eat them. But that's our fall garden. Now, if you like this stuff, this homestead and do-it-yourself kind of thing, be certain to come on out to the channel and subscribe. We do this homestead stuff all the time. If you hit the little bell when you come to the channel, it'll notify you when we upload a video. We upload every Sunday. Now, with that being said, it's time for me to get on to the next thing.